Hello, I'm back again. This is my second stab at doing my Top Tip Tuesday on this Tuesday. So I don't know what happened. Facebook kind of died on me earlier. Maybe it's because I was ranting a little bit. I hope we don't have censorship here. So here I am, Rachel Lancaster. I'm the founder of Magnificent Midlife, and I'm here with my Top Tip Tuesday. It would be lovely if you're watching. Say hello, tell me where you're watching from, because it's always nice to know. I'm going to start again with it's going to be a little bit of a rant today because there's something I want to get off my chest, okay? But my Top Tip Tuesday is believe you can make a difference. Never think that something is so big, so massive, that it's not even worth you trying to make a difference, because each and every one of us can make a difference. Now, what am I talking about? The reason I need to rant today is because I believe this week that the world, for me anyway, has kind of shifted. Everything has changed. I've always been interested in the environment. I used to volunteer and do some PR work for a campaign called Close the Door a few years ago. And we always came across the problem that shops and retailers never wanted to talk to us about the issue of having their doors open when their heating's on or the air conditioning's on. That's certainly the case in London. If you ever go down Oxford Street, which is our main shopping centre, you will find in the middle of winter you'll have snow on the ground and the doors wide open. That's even if they have doors. Some of the shops don't even have doors. So I used to do that, so I've always been interested in it. But why this week am I feeling very hot under the collar? It's not a hot flush about the environment. Well, one is the report that's come out of South Korea, the UN report, talking about the need for drastic action, like really drastic action, if we are to stop the world heating up beyond 1.5 degrees C. And if it goes beyond that, I mean, if it goes up to 1.5 degrees C, up by that, it's going to have dramatic impact on the way we live our lives. But if it goes beyond that, it's going to have just catastrophic effects on our lives. And I don't think people have realized this. So this is my little rant today. And I've also seen recently a couple of documentaries. The first one, so if you are in the UK and you can get on the BBC iPlayer, go and watch this one. It's about drowning in plastic. Do say hello, by the way. If you're watching, let me know where you're watching from. And this one was really shocking to see the impact of our plastic use on the oceans, on the sea, on the fact that, you know, it's getting into the food chain. I mean, it is absolutely everywhere, and we are just addicted to plastic, and we keep making more of it, and we need to stop making more of it, and we need to use what we have, reuse what we have, but not just count on recycling, because recycling can't cope with the quantity of plastic that we're putting out into the oceans. We've got to stop making it and use something else and find alternatives. So there's that one. The other one that I saw was either last night or the night before. My menopause brain, I can't remember. And so this one was about how fashion is actually the second most polluting industry in the world. I had no idea about that. And it's all because of the chemicals that are used to produce and dye the fabrics that feed our addiction for fast fashion, and particularly the growth of cotton, which takes so much water that it has meant that the Aral Sea in Kazakhstan, 80% of it has disappeared, because the water has been diverted to the cotton plantations in Uzbekistan. So a whole sea has disappeared, which means the livelihoods of the people all around that sea have disappeared. And then there's all the chemicals that have been left behind as well because of siphoning off of nasty stuff. And there was footage of a river in Indonesia, and, you know, kids were playing in it, and it was fizzing from the chemicals. It was fizzing. It was just like, ah! So go and have a look at that documentary. So we got the three things, and then there was this, as I said, the final call to do something drastic about the environment. So we're going to put that in there as well. So what can we do? This is the top tip, okay? I want you to believe that you can make a difference. And I have here a poll. I'm going to see if I can do that and do the poll. So what will you do to reduce your impact on the environment? Now, I don't know whether this is going to work on the replay or not. But for example, you could air dry your washing. You could stop using a dryer. And I am always astounded every time I go to America, and particularly I go to California, and it's a desert there. It's very warm. It's a desert. People have gardens in California. They have, you know, in LA, they have gardens. But how do they dry their laundry? They put it in the dryer. I don't understand that. I mean, even inside, I have one of these old traditional Yorkshire dryers. It's a pulley thing, and it's got bars, and I winch it up. And because hot air rises, if I put stuff up in the evening, it's dry by the morning. So, you know, I only use my dryer if I absolutely have to. So another thing you can do is reduce your purchase of clothing. You know, do you really need to buy more clothing? Can you use what you've already got? Can you just buy stuff that you absolutely adore and not get into that compunction of every season having to buy new stuff? I'm really gonna watch what I spend on clothing going forward, because I was so shocked. I had no idea. And I think the more people have an idea, the more they will want to make a difference. And I think, you know, if we all believe we can make a difference and we all start changing our behavior, then we really can make that difference. What do you think? Let me know in the comments if what I'm talking about is making sense. So another thing we can do is, because actually meat and dairy is environmentally so unfriendly, because trees are cut down to make room for cattle and everything else, you know, that goes along with it. So think about cutting back on the meat and dairy in your diet and see if you can do that. You know, maybe do meat-free Mondays. I've actually, this was for health reasons, I've kind of tried to go plant-based. I'm not, you know, crazy about it. If there's really nice meat on offer, I will eat it. If there's nice fish on offer, I'll eat it. But I'm trying to move more towards a plant-based diet for my health. And now I know that I'm actually, you know, doing good stuff for the environment too. So I've got double whammy on that one. So I'm going to stick with that one. And one thing that really winds me up is I know a certain young person who is always buying water in plastic bottles and then just throwing the plastic bottles in the recycling. Why? You know, just have one bottle, refill it. You know, if you don't like the idea of refilling a plastic bottle, and some people say you shouldn't do that, I don't care about that. I just refill plastic bottles. I have a whole drawer full of old plastic bottles, and I pull them out and I refill them and I take them away with me, take them out and about with me. So make a commitment to stop buying water in plastic bottles. So if the poll works on the replay, I've no idea whether it will or not. Perhaps it won't. But if it does, do the poll. And if it doesn't, just bear in mind what I've said, and perhaps in the comments say what you can do to make that difference. I'm even thinking of going to my local Vietnamese takeaway and taking the trays that they send every time and actually taking them back to them and saying, you know, can I give you these so that you can reuse them, rather than sending me new ones, which I just then have to put in my recycling. So what are the other things that you can do? Yeah, buy less meat, milk, cheese and butter. Buy more locally sourced seasonal food, things that have come from not too far away. So you get rid of the air miles that are used to get them here. Throw less food away. You know, buy less and then throw less away. Drive electric cars or walk or cycle short distances. I actually have a bike, so I do try and do a bit of that. Take trains and buses instead of planes. Well, when you can. Some places you have to fly, don't you? But bear it in mind. Use video conferencing instead of business travel. Using that washing line instead of a tumble dryer, as I said earlier. Insulate your homes and demand low carbon in every consumer product. And buy less fast fashion. And then you can make a difference. So that's my Top Tip Tuesday. Went on a bit long, has become a bit of a rant. This is something that I'm incredibly passionate about. And I think that we as women, we have so much power in this department in this area to effect real change, to say, okay, yeah, enough. This is our planet. We want it to be wonderful for our children, for the young people, whether or not we have children, for the young people in our lives. And we can actually each individually do something to make a difference. So that's me with my Top Tip Tuesday. Gone on a bit long, sorry about that, but believe you can make a difference. Never feel that something is too big and too out of your personal control that you can't make a difference, because if each of us believes we can, then we can. Okay, this is Rachel Lancaster. I'm the founder of Magnificent Midlife and the Magnificent Midlife Members Club, if you fancy coming over and checking that out. And thank you for staying with me and listening to me here. And I hope the poll works on the replay. I've no idea if it will or not. But tell me in the comments what you are going to do to make a difference for the environment this year, because we need to step up and take charge. Women. All right, thanks for staying with me. Bye.